Mackey was giving an interview just
Oh yeah, this is our
recently.
last male topic.
Yeah.
Mackey.
He's quoted as saying the American male is dead.
So real quick, on the Joe Budden podcast, the crew, they about to get in a conversation about what Anthony Mackie said in his comments on Ryan Clark's podcast. So based on what he said, they're going to have their own discussions and stuff like that. So we're going to observe and we're going to talk about it. We're going to see what's what, you know what I'm saying, who's right, who's wrong. Not that who's right, who's wrong, but whose perspective, who you believe in, stuff like that. So let's just listen to what Anthony Mackie got to say, listen to what the crew got to say, and then we'll see where the chips fall.
Parks, I sent you the video if you want to like play that.
But American male?
Yeah, so he...
What do you mean?
Y'all, I guess. The concept of masculinity, I'm sure. So we'll listen to him.
Right, let's hear this.
Let's see what old Anthony Mackie has to say, huh?
And then
keep my boys humble. Like, my boys have never had a pair of Jordans. You know, my boys don't do all that internet fly shit. I'm like your kids. And no, I could be the biggest star in the world. Do not let me catch you being stupid. Mm-hmm. Do not. And my oldest gets it. My 15-year-old, he tells the other one,
Shout out to Ryan Clark.
Yo, don't make dad mad. Because once you get one that's right, he gonna straighten the other ones out. Mm-hmm. So it's just that thing of, in the past 20 years, we've been living through the death of the American male. They have literally killed masculinity in our homes and our communities, for one reason or another. But I raised my boys to be young men. And however you feel about that, you feel about that. Right. But my boys will always be respectful. They will always say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. No, sir, no, ma'am. They will always say thank you.
I like that.
They will always open the door for a lady. They will always make sure that their mother is taken care and provided for. They will always be men. And that's always since they were 2 years old. Every time I left for a job, I tell my 15-year-old, you're the man of the house. You make sure these doors are locked every night, this alarm is on, you text me or you call me every night before you go to bed and you wake up.
I love that.
Because we're men. If I'm not there to protect, he got to be there to protect. Because you can have all the money in the world, climb through the window, that money means nothing. Right. You can have all the celebrity in the world, but jump through the door, that celebrity means nothing.
All right.
This sounds like much more of a conversation about being a good father than
I was like, what?
American masculinity being dead.
I'm waiting for the masculinity part.
Yeah.
I don't know what so that's what I was wondering, like, what did he mean by saying over the last 20 years, like, has killed the American male and the idea of masculinity? But then also, do you guys agree with that statement of when you leave the house, you leave your 15-year-old in charge? Is that like kind of hoisting too much responsibility on a child's shoulders?
No, I don't think so. I'm with him with that. I mean, I don't have a 15-year-old, male in the house, but yeah, at that age, that's what I was. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they expect you to be the man of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, like shit, like he's saying, yo, make sure the doors is locked, make sure the alarm is on, make sure the windows are on. Like, that's
He's not
responsibility.
talking about like going out and getting a high earning salary and
No, I don't mean
digging wells or.
No, I don't mean that. I mean like being like the protector of the
but
house.
that's
Like, should somebody come inside, kind of thing? Like, should an intruder come over?
No, he's just saying be more responsible.
He's just saying you just got to do the fucking checks at the house before you go to bed. One of your brothers.
I was left alone. Okay, all I had was dogs and cats and fuck.
All right, so up to this point, what I say based on what Anthony Mackie said and what the crew is saying is I can relate to it because my dad, even to this day, he really don't have to say it at this point, but he said it from when I was at a younger age where, listen, if you're the last one downstairs, make sure the doors is locked, make sure the lights is off, make sure the house is straight, make sure, everything is straight so that if anything does happen, we know our security measures is on point. Since I've gotten older, and that's a building block, because since I've gotten older, there's been other things that have come in play that allow me to be able to protect the house if I need to, whether I'm in my own house or whether I'm in the house with my mom or with my parents, blah, blah, blah. So what he's saying is necessary for a 15-year-old. You get what I'm saying? And as 15-year-old get older and he does those things, then other things come into play. And what happens with young men is those things that we get implemented into us, we grow up and we do that for our own. And then if we have boys, we do the same thing for them. These are certain things that just supposed to get passed down from generation to generation amongst men.
Birds and fish. Okay, that's who looked after
You
me.
was in the woods somewhere.
I was not in the woods. I was in Toronto.
He was in the woods of
I was
Toronto.
living in Toronto proper. Okay,
You know-
it was the city.
Were you in the cabin?
No, I wasn't in a fucking cabin.
You know how the Russians do when they come here? They
I
go
was living
deep in the woods.
I was not in the woods.
What's our deep dive here? 'Cause
It sounds like he was doing some great father talk.
Yeah.
And
I
that-
thought so,
I think
too.
that was
I
super
thought that was gonna be something else.
It's just his statement saying the American male is dead and the idea of masculinity is dead and all that other stuff. Like it just had people interpreting it just different
course.
ways.
In this conversation, that sounds like a clickbait headline.
Yeah, it's a
but if
clickbait.
you want to talk about is American masculinity dead, I don't think so. I think that they're
Yes.
okay.
All right, let's hear it.
Women has taken on the role of American masculinity in men. And not intentionally, it's just that's what's being pushed to us. Because it's being highlighted that women are now the masculine one in relationships when there's still good men out there not being highlighted and good men that believe in responsibility and being a man in a relationship.
Isn't part of being a good man not
And-
being highlighted for being a good man?
Not to be a dick, because I'm not trying to be a dick, and I'm not trying to harp on things. This was my fucking point with that Doechii straight man red flag conversation.
Go.
This was the exact
It's being
point.
highlighted.
What he-
Anybody that don't know, I didn't read too much into it. I just saw the clip that went viral, like everybody else did. That probably didn't watch the entire thing because that's not my type of content. Is she? There was another young lady on the show that asked her what's her red flag what's her red flag with dating or something to that effect, and Doechii wrote on a board, straight men, and then the other girl clapped it up with her, dapped it up with her, and said, the funny thing is, I was going to say men. This is what Joe's talking about. That's all I'm saying.
saying is that, yo, there are still men.
Talk about it.
Men.
Talk about it.
Whatever your interpretation of that is, he described his. A lot of men agree with
Yeah, he just
that.
okay.
There are still
But what Joe's saying too, and I apologize for keep pausing the video, but when Joe talks about men and whatever your description of men is, yes, you can ask 100 people, ask 100 men, women, whoever, what a man is, but a man is gonna have, what's gonna start to happen is gonna be a common denominator, right? What people are going to associate what a man is masculinity and but so many words, right? They're either going to say masculine or they're going to describe what masculine tendencies, masculine habits. You know what I'm saying? They're going to describe what a man is. They're going to say words like stoicism. You know what I'm saying? They're going to say testosterone. They're going to say in shape with muscles, like however it is that they describe what a man is. Eventually, when you ask enough people, there's going to be an objective definition of what a man is, despite the fact that everyone has their own interpretation.
men.
That's not
out
being
there.
erased, though. You think what he described as being a man is being erased?
No, and hold on one second here. What you're alluding to,
I can't land.
I
So
know
you
that.
can't tell me what
it's okay.
You can't tell me what I'm alluding to if I can't land.
I'm basing it on the last conversation that we had about this, where you landed all over the
But
place.
we're having a new conversation, and I'm making a point that connects full circle. The depiction of what a man looks like, many people, and I said this in that Doechii conversation, feel that there's an erasure happening with that. So when you hear somebody say, hey, I'm raising mine like this, like men, like some people still take pride in whatever that interpretation of man is. But to act like when you pick up a newspaper, a magazine, hear from prominent black people, fucking see on TV, see in movies that version of man is
No
not
longer
being
exists?
represented
Yeah.
properly, like there's a reason for it, and that Doechii comment is part of it. She has nothing to do with this, so I don't want to get back to her, but that's why y'all that were like, oh, y'all making a big deal out of nothing. Some people were making a big deal out of it because they see a different picture happening over the years.
They tying it to the other shit.
Our children, I mean, we have children that we're raising, and what they're learning is not, what they're learning is on the contrary of what's happening in the home.
They'll show you a man sucking another man's dick today
Exactly.
before they show you a man acting like a man.
Exactly.
What does acting like a man mean?
Acting like a man, being
I
responsible.
keep saying that's
'Cause
open for your own interpretation.
It is, and so-
many people agree with some of the things that he laid out, which is, hey, yes, I'm 15 years old. Yes, there's older people, older women adults in the house, but none of that matters to a man. A man is going to be a man at all points in time.
Preach, nigga.
So yeah, that's me. That's me telling my son, hey, when you get a job at 16, this is what you do when you get paid. You take that money home.
Yes.
Yeah, you live with your mom,
Yes.
and you be the man of the house. If there's no man in there, if she's not married, if there's nobody else there, that's your job.
Yes.
Make sure these bills are paid. Help mom in any way you possibly can, because that's what a man does. And so for you niggas to act like there's not an erasure happening, I don't understand it.
Let Mel,
I don't understand.
let Mel go, and I want to say.
I don't feel like the Doshi conversation applies here because what she was describing her preference. And if you're saying that she's describing a type of man that lacks masculinity, then that would lend to the argument.
There's an attack on straight men.
Hold on,
I'm not trying to interpret it from her. There's an attack on strong, straight men. Period. I'm not trying to fucking read through cryptic notes about how you feel about some shit.
That is a fact.
Okay.
You are.